So, cloud. We hear over and again that cloud is the biggest revolution in IT since the move from mainframe to client server. But how many of us today can genuinely testify to that being a reality in our organizations? Let's keep that rhetorical for the moment. So what's the difference between the haves and the have-nots? Is it technology choice? Access to expertise? Is it budgets? Or perhaps, is it a more fundamental question about our ability to adapt the way we think to take advantage of a new paradigm? Now, allow me, if you will, to draw a parallel between cloud computing and the Industrial Revolution. Now, I accept that's a bit of a reach as far as analogies go, but bear with me, I think there's a lesson from history here. The Industrial Revolution was ignited by an apparently simple technological development. It was an improved production process that allowed the cheaper production of a tougher cast iron, which in turn led to the proliferation of steel as a construction material. And it was steel that radically changed the course of human urbanization, changed the course of transportation and engineering. In short, it changed the way that society developed since then. So the secret of the Industrial Revolution was that if designers had continued to apply old design methodologies to this new material, they would never have achieved the efficiencies and the scale that led to the dawn of the high-rise age. So the lesson here, it is that the ability to change the way we think that makes the critical difference, not the humble invention itself. Virtualization, cloud computing are the new tools which are allowing us to change and challenge the way that we design, deploy, and consume IT. However, if we're going to take full advantage of this new technology, then we need to change the way we think. We need to challenge our system engineering models, and we need to stop trying to push square pegs through round holes. In our 5 years' experience of helping customers move to the cloud, if I had to define what was the key success criteria, I would say that success in the cloud can be defined by the extent to which you're able to think big. Now, by think big, I mean to think differently, to think less like an enterprise IT executive and to think more like an independent services vendor, or ISV. So what does it mean to think like an ISV? We're all familiar with service-oriented architecture, at least it's broad concepts. It's been around for a decade or more. What we're witnessing now is a crucial development in SOA, from service-oriented architecture to service-oriented system engineering, or SOSE. Now, what SOSE does is combine the benefits of two paradigms, SOA and cloud computing. SOSE has been on the radar of forward-thinking software developers for half the time that SOA has been around. But prior to cloud, it was too expensive and too difficult to implement, mostly due to lack of tools or standards. So SOA is basically a continuation, SOSE is basically a continuation of SOA by bridging the divide between development and infrastructure. SOSE more fully considers the service delivery as a whole rather than separate layers for software infrastructure and operations. And perhaps this is a contributing factor to the increased importance placed on the role of DevOps within IT. In our experience, it is the success of individuals or teams to cross that divide which is critical to the success of cloud projects. Now, we do not define DevOps in terms of roles or skills. We define DevOps in terms of a mindset. These individuals are open-minded, and they're prepared to learn what the person next to them does for a job. They are quite literally a new breed of IT craftsmen, and they're the ones who are really leading the cloud revolution. We consider them to be the most valuable engineering asset within our business. So in closing, I'd like to circle back to the idea of thinking big. For us, it's less about scale and more about scope. So perhaps it should be think wide. Success in the cloud depends on the ability to widen the scope of how you approach cloud projects. And that means thinking past virtual machine infrastructure management and embracing new cloud service architectures. It means applying new tools, but more critically, applying a new way of thinking. Thank you for your time.